If the reason you're not posting videos online is because you don't own a camera, I'm sorry to tell you, friend, but you're a liar. All right, I'm just kidding. But the camera that you put in your pocket every day with your smartphone is an incredible camera that shoots great video. However, maybe you're not so pleased with the quality that your camera is getting. And so that's why in this video, I'm gonna share some tips and upgrades you can make with your smartphone to really get the best video quality possible so that you can start crushing video content all with your smartphone. Let's get it.
You gotta just press record.
Hey, what's up? It's Omar with Think Media, and I'm really gonna break this video down kind of in two portions. One will be like actual upgrades, things that you can invest in to make your video quality look better with your smartphone. And then secondly, I'm gonna share some free ways that you can actually level up the video with your smartphone. And so with that being said, the first thing I would recommend you upgrading is getting this 11-in-1 lens kit for smartphones from Amazon that only costs $25. Now you may not need all 11 lenses that come in this kit because some are kind of like effects lenses. However, three of my favorite ones that come in this, number one is the wide one, which just gives you that nice YouTuber look, kind of like what you're seeing right now. It's a fairly medium wide shot, which is really cool because it not only gives you that YouTuber look, but it also makes your space look a little bit bigger, and it allows you to come closer to your camera, therefore making your audio sound better because then you're closer to the onboard mic. So that's the wide angle lens. They also have this super fisheye lens, which gives you that like 80s, 90s skateboard video kind of vibe. However, the other two lenses that I really like is the macro lens, which allows you to get really close up to something and really get the detail of whatever it is you're trying to shoot, or the telephoto lens, which will give you a nice tight compressed shot for something like products or maybe a close-up to something you're demonstrating. Now I am aware that newer smartphones like my iPhone 11 Pro have multiple lenses on them. However, I found that the wide angle lens that's on them is cool, but doesn't do that well indoors. It only does really well when the sun's out. In a setting like this, it's kind of very grainy, and the actual regular camera lens does better in low light or even nice lighting. But then the main camera is usually the one that gets upgraded really well when newer models come out. Also, I think to eliminate the temptation to have the latest and greatest or maxed out version of something could be resolved with literally investing in this $25 lens kit. And what's cool about this is that this is my wife's iPhone 11 which is like 3 years old at the time of shooting this video. And this guy shoots 4K, man. 3 years old and it shoots 4K. Like what smartphone are you using? I bet you it shoots 4K if it's around 3-4 years old. So really, you can get by with the smartphone you already have by upgrading with this lens kit from Amazon. And I'll be sure to post links down in the description below for everything I mentioned in this video. The next upgrade I would recommend you to make is an audio upgrade. You would actually be surprised how much you can bypass lower video quality by simply having good audio quality. And that's because audio is 50% of video. And so if your video quality isn't top notch, but your audio quality sounds good and it's consistent and it's easy to hear, then trust me, you'll actually have your viewers bypass the video quality because your audio quality sounds good. The first upgrade I would recommend you do is a lavalier upgrade. This is the Deity V-Lab. This is about a $50 lavalier microphone that plugs straight into your smartphone, which is what I love. It's very plug and play. And you can clip this onto your button up, your blouse, or even your t-shirt and start recording videos. What's cool about this is it comes with a really long cord. So if you wanna move around, you can maintain consistent audio nonetheless that you're moving around because the audio source is coming from here as opposed to your onboard mic. A lot of people are shooting videos way back here, but their onboard mic is way over there and it doesn't sound that good. So investing in something like this is key. Now it is important to note to get the corresponding adapter that you need to be able to plug it into your smartphone because smartphones don't have headphone jacks anymore. But for me, I get the lightning to headphone jack adapter and it plugs right into my iPhone. If you have an Android, get the USB-C or whatever charging port you have into headphone jack and you'll be able to plug it in as well. The second way you can upgrade your audio is kind of how I shoot my videos now, and that is by booming your mic out of shot. So right now, you could see my mic that you're hearing is right out of frame like this, and it's capturing good audio because it's literally about 10 inches away from my mouth. And even though I'm far away from my camera, I'm getting good audio because the audio source is right here. So this is one way that you can do it. And I would say this is about an $80 solution. It's just not as portable as the lavalier mic. Like if you find yourself on the go, it might not work as best, but if you like to sit down and talk, having something like this is a good solution as well. Now the third way is to upgrade your smartphone's audio with a USB mic, which is crazy that you can plug in a USB mic into your smartphone. But if you get the Samson Q2U, which is about a $70 mic, you could plug it right into your smartphone, and a mic like that will give you that nice rich radio podcast sound, which is actually pretty sweet knowing that you're actually filming on your smartphone and yet achieving a nice high quality sound effect that'll trick your viewers thinking you have a super gnarly setup when all reality you were just using a $70 USB mic plugged into your smartphone. Now to save time and keep this video going, typically I would do an audio test comparing all three of the mics that I just mentioned. However, I did make a video on how to improve the audio quality to your smartphone, and you can check out that video at the end of this video if you'd like to see how those sound side to side. Now, once you've upgraded your audio, the next thing you can upgrade to make your smartphone look so much better on video is by upgrading your lighting. And the reality is, lighting is everything. I was so surprised to see how good the video quality of my smartphone looked by simply upgrading my light to something that was more large and soft. I know oftentimes people want to buy a ring light or a panel light, and those are great lights, especially to get started with. But if you invest into a cob light, which is a little bit more expensive, you're gonna get a much flattering and more cinematic image out of your smartphone. But if you are on a budget, you can invest into the Mount Dog softbox kit, which is about $50 for one or about $80 for two. And what's cool about this light kit is it comes with a wireless remote. It allows you to dim it, and it allows you to change the color temperature of the light. All that to say, it's a pretty sweet kit if you're on a budget. Nonetheless, the GVM cob light would give you a better image out of your smartphone simply because it's a cob light. And really, between upgrading your audio and your lighting, you will really pull out incredible video quality out of your smartphone. And I want to encourage you to know that you're making an investment. I know oftentimes people like to upgrade their gear from cheap to intermediate to expensive, when the reality is that you can actually upgrade lighting and audio up front, and you won't have to upgrade it later on. And so all that to say, the chances are if you get a really good light up front, you won't have to upgrade it later, and the same goes with your microphone. Now I got 3 more tips to level up the video quality out of your smartphone, but if you're already getting value out of this video, let me know by hitting the like button. Thank you so much, and let me know down in the comments below what smartphone you currently have now. I bet you it shoots 4K, and you need to start posting videos on YouTube. Let's go, come on. The next tip is to lock in settings before you shoot. Honestly, what's cool about smartphones is that they're really easy to use, and they have great auto features to be able to accommodate whatever situation you're filming in, whether it's indoors or outside. However, if you're shooting, stationary stuff, whether it's like this or maybe products, you can actually press down on the screen and it'll lock focus on your smartphone as well as the exposure on your smartphone. On iPhones, you can then change the exposure by sliding up and down your finger with the sun icon, which is a super nice feature, and to really dial in your exposure. Now, this might require some help needed, whether that's a stand-in, somebody to sit in place while you do that, or somebody to do it for you. But nonetheless, I think it's worth taking the time to do so, just to lock in your shot and look drippy, crispy. The next tip is to shoot B-roll with movement. It's really important to add supplemental footage to your videos to keep your viewer engaged. And one way you can do that is by simply moving the camera slowly to show off whatever it is you're talking about. It is easier to use a tripod with a fluid head, and we'll post our best recommended one for smartphones down in the description below. However, being able to add these movements into your video will actually level up the production value of your video and cause your viewer to watch longer. Now, using a tripod with a fluid head to get that movement, whether it's a pan or a tilt, will level up your video. However, if you don't have the ability to do that, you can actually be the one that's moving on screen instead of the camera moving. So for instance, if I'm showing off something on a table, I can actually hit record and then put something on the table and then move my hand, and it gave me a nice B-roll clip to add in my edit later. Also, don't underestimate the power of just holding your phone or moving your phone from side to side when getting a B-roll shot. That's also great too. The point is to get B-roll with movement, and it'll make your video so much better. Now the next tip is to hide the quality of your smartphone's video with good editing. And you can do this by simply changing what's on screen or adding movement to the screen. So essentially every 8 to 10 seconds, you can either have text come on screen, or you can use a title slide that you make in Canva, which we've had tutorials on that, or add in a B-roll clip every 8 to 10 seconds. Maybe it's adding music very low underneath your video, but all these little nuances will actually level the production value of your smartphone, and people will actually not even think you're using your smartphone. Because your editing has great pace and it's just moving along and keeping the viewer engaged every 8 to 10 seconds or so. Now, if you're just starting out, start with just title screens or something and B-roll like mentioned, and I promise you will level up and get 1% better with every upload. Now, I truly believe that if you implement these tips that I mentioned in this video or these upgrades, that you will be super pleased with the video quality coming out of your smartphone, and maybe you'll never have to need a camera because you're crushing it with your smartphone and you don't need a camera. And the reality is that content value is way more important than production value. So if you are delivering valuable content, it looks good, it sounds good, it's engaging, you're gonna crush it on YouTube, and I know you're gonna crush it on YouTube. So keep posting videos with your smartphone, and we'd love to see it. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already, and if you wanna check out a video of one of the ones that I mentioned earlier in this video, click or tap the screen, and I can't wait to see you in a future one. Peace.